talking about the black holes. But first we'll listen to the verse dealing with our topic today, and it is verse 15, verse 16 from Surah Al-Takwir.
فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس
I do not even swear by the hidden stars that run in their orbits sweeping the sky.
Professor Zaghloul, the black holes. You mentioned before that the black holes cannot be seen by anybody. So how were they found out?
I begin with thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our creator, the creator of the universe and of everything that's in it, and emphasize the fact that this universe has been built on exactly the same plan, testifying to the unity of this great creator who is the sole master of the universe without parallels, partners, or similitudes. And I seek his blessings to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and I seek his blessings to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the end of that long chain of prophets and messengers sent by Allah to men for their guidance in areas that cannot be correctly addressed by man. And I greet you all in our Islamic way. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
May Allah's peace, blessings, and mercy be with you all. Black holes are very recent discoveries. They were not known until the last 2 decades of the 20th century. For a book revealed more than 14 centuries ago to speak about black holes in explicit language is a miracle by itself. Because nobody at the time of revelation of the glorious Quran, nor for very many centuries after the revelation, had any idea about the existence of black holes. Black holes are unknowns. They are dark areas in the sky. Nobody could see them, but they noticed that they swallow anything that goes into their horizon. Any planet, any galaxy, any star, any constellation that goes into the horizon of the black hole, which could be several thousands of kilometers.
The black hole could swallow a galaxy.
Can swallow a galaxy, yes.
Wow.
Can swallow a whole galaxy. And where it goes, we don't know. It just disappears. And the theory was raised that these are excessively dense matter, a form of matter that is excessively dense, particularly after the discovery of neutron stars. And the assessment of the density of neutron stars to be in the order of 1 billion tons for a cubic centimeter. And it has been observed that anything that goes in the horizon of a black hole disappears. And it was assumed that this black hole can keep on swallowing matter and energy until it reaches a critical mass, then explodes and goes back to the smoke of the universe. How did they see black holes? We only see streams of electrons running towards an unseen spot. And these are mainly snatched from faraway heavenly bodies that cannot be swallowed by the black hole. And astronomers today claim that black holes are the pivotal axis of any galaxy, the center of gravity of any galaxy, the center of balance for any galaxy. And there can be more than one black holes in one and the same galaxy, so that it can hold together, or they can hold together this massive number of stars, massive number of satellites of the stars.
Yes. But Professor, if the black hole is inside the galaxy,
yes,
how come it doesn't swallow it?
Well, the distances between the stars is so vast that it can only take a stream of electrons from it. As an example of its excessive gravitational force, it can detract electrons from these highly distant bodies to indicate the position of the black hole. But it doesn't swallow it. Any that goes in the horizon of the black hole is swallowed.
So the rest of the galaxy, you're saying, is at a distance yani, further than the horizon?
Oh, definitely. It has to be. If it went into the horizon, it will swallow it. A whole galaxy, if it goes into a black hole, it can swallow it.
Dr. Nagar, how can we understand this? How can we understand that the Quran in this specific verse is talking specifically about the black hole? From where can we get this?
Thank you. You see, as I repeatedly mentioned before, the Quranic verse comes in plain words. And every generation can see in these words a meaning. And these meanings integrate without the slightest contradiction. So I'll explain it as we understand it today.
Yes.
And I will tell you later on what the earlier people said about it.
Okay.
For example, the two verses read, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالْخُنَّسِ الْجَوَارِ الْكُنَّسِ. I do not even give an oath by the excessively hidden stars. Al-Jawari al-Kunnas, that run in their orbits, sweeping everything they encounter. How could it be more plain than this? This is our current understanding of it. And as I said earlier, these black holes were not discovered until the last 2 decades of the 20th century. In the late 1970s, you see, these black holes were discovered. And a long debate went on until the idea has been accepted by astronomers in general. For a book revealed more than 14 centuries ago to spell out this fact in such a precise manner, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ, as we said earlier, if I negate an oath in the Arabic language, this is an overemphasis of the oath.
Yes.
فَلَا أُقْسِمُ means I give an emphatic oath. You see, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالْخُنَّسِ. Khanasa in Arabic means became hidden.
Yes.
And they say when an animal runs away and hides in a cave or hides in a hiding place of it, in Arabic they call it khanasa. This animal did khanasa. But khunnas in Arabic is a way of exaggeration, a way of excessiveness. Say, فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالْخُنَّسِ means that I do not even give an oath by the excessively hidden stars. Al-Jawari al-Kunnas, that run in their own orbits and sweep everything they encounter. Recent astronomers describe these black holes as supergiant vacuum cleaners. Because really, supergiant vacuum cleaners. They swallow everything they encounter.
Non-Muslim scholars.
Non-Muslim scholars, of course.
The same expression.
And they say that these black holes can swallow anything that comes in their way. Cosmic dust, cosmic smoke, stars, constellations, galaxies, planets, moons. Because every form of matter and energy they come across, they swallow it. And they say it keeps on swallowing until it reaches a critical mass, then it will explode and goes back into the cosmic smoke. Early commentators of the Quran said that فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالْخُنَّسِ, I do not even give an oath by those things that are excessively hidden. So he said, what are excessively hidden? Some of them said stars. We see them at night and they disappear during the day. Some of them said planets or moons.
Okay.
We see them at night and don't see them during the day. And they try to explain al-jawari al-kunnas. They couldn't understand how they could sweep things off.
Yes.
So they said, let's look for a linguistic meaning of the word kanasa. Kanasa means wipe something from a surface. They said, oh, we found a meaning of kanasa that is exactly the same meaning of khanasa. They say kinasul dhabi is the hidden place of a deer. You see, so it says, it's an emphasis, and again emphasis, you see, of the idea that these are hidden things.
So
But
they
they-
hide, and the
they
other
hide-
thing is the place where they hide.
The place where they hide, you see.
Okay.
These are hidden things that run in their own orbits and become excessively hidden. That's what they wanted to say. But really, today, we see in these two verses a scientific miracle, actually. The Quran, a book revealed more than 14 centuries ago to an unlettered prophet, may Allah bless him and reward him amply, to contain this statement that precisely describes black holes in plain words, is a testimony that this book cannot be the work of man, and a testimony for the prophethood of Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Professor, why black hole? Black hole.
You see, scientists have coined that name, a black hole, because it's black, and it cannot be seen, it's hidden. And a hole because it swallows anything that falls in its own horizon. But actually it is an excessively dense matter, as if Allah is trying to show us an idea about the initial body from which He has created this universe. There are some excessively dense matter in outer space that can testify to the fact that the universe you are living in was actually created from a similar mass. Although the initial body must have been far, far denser than any black hole. I don't know whether you could follow this. You see, a black hole is not really a proper term. The Quranic term, al-khunnas, al-jawari al-kunnas, is more precise, really. When I say najmun khanisun kanis, a sweeping star, a hidden sweeping star, this is more precise than saying a black hole.
So we can call black holes sweeping stars.
Yes, I call it like that, yes.
Okay.
A
We'll-
hidden sweeping star.
Yes, we'll go for a short break now, and we'll
Yes.
continue with the sweeping stars right after that. Please wait for us. Welcome back, dear viewers. And right before the break, Professor Zaghlul was saying that the term used in Quran is more precise than the term used by scholars for the black hole. But Professor, I think Brother Fuad had a question.
Yes. The sweeping star, I will say from now on, inshallah, is a vacuum that takes in cosmic radiation and other matters, huh?
Yes.
Right? So where does this go? Where the vacuum?
Can we call it vacuum, Professor?
Well, that's a coined term, actually, by some of the astronomers. They call it a supergiant vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
And where it goes, it has got an orbit that it revolves in it, like any other star. You see, every body in that universe revolves around its own axis and runs in a definite orbit. And because it runs in a definite orbit, it is a star. And it's a glowing body, although we don't see its glow. It's a body that has got nuclear fusion going within it, so it's a star. But the energy or light cannot be emitted from it because of its excessive density. And if light falls on it, it will swallow it immediately. So it cannot be seen.
No, but I'm asking where does the swallowed matter, where does it go?
Nobody knows.
It is not discovered.
No,
until now.
nobody knows. Nobody knows. To the extent that some astronomers try to put a figurative explanation. They say probably this is our world. and the other world is behind the black holes. And anything swallowed in a black hole goes to the other world. But this is mere imagination. We have no evidence for that.
Made many movies about that.
Of course, of course. Yeah.
But Professor Zaghloul, is our planet safe from black holes?
You see, we as Muslims believe that there is a master for that universe who has created it, who is still taking care of it, and nothing will happen to that universe except with the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be and it will be. Non-believers are scared from anything. If they see a comet coming near our solar system, they scream high, as we are going to be destroyed. The comet is going to hit the earth, and if it did, it will destroy everything. But we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is observing upon us. He knows everything that goes on in that universe, and no harm can reach us except through the knowledge and will of the Creator. And that's why Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is quoted to have said, اللهم لا تكلنا لأنفسنا ولا لأحد من خلقك طرفة عين ولا أقل من ذلك. Oh Allah, do not let us to our own selves or to any of your creation, for a glimpse of an eye, or even
less than that. Or even less than
for
that.
anything less than that.
Yes.
Because he knows, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if we were left on our own, this universe could be destroyed in no time. In no time.
Doctor, I'm so happy about the Quran is giving us a lot of aspects, all kind of aspects of life, of science. Like it is inviting us to study, to research
Definitely.
in science, in history, in like everything.
Definitely. You see, the Quran reads, هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون. Can they be equal, those who know and those who do not know? And one of the objectives of introducing more than 1,000 cosmic verses in the Holy Quran is to instigate Muslims to indulge in such an area,
Yes.
to indulge in science and technology, to read the laws of Allah in the universe and try to apply it for making life a better life.
Is there an estimated amount of black holes? Is there an amount that we can...
Oh, black holes, as I said, have been very recently discovered, and the number of black holes discovered lies within the tens, and nothing more than that, because we can only see black holes in our galaxy and in some of the nearer by galaxies, but we cannot see it in all galaxies.
But that doesn't mean that there must be more than 10.
There must be billions of them. Yeah.
I just want to ask about the scientists that they discovered these black holes that we have in our space, and when they read the verses in the Quran here that we have it here, what was their
But they
reactions
didn't read
from
it.
that? I mean, did
You see,
anybody
We couldn't
tell them about it?
present that to them.
Yes.
And that's why I do believe that the more we concentrate on these cosmic verses in the Holy Quran
Yes.
and present them to non-Muslims in a rational way, in a purely scientific way, that can explain these verses in a language they can understand, I'm sure it will create a sensation in the whole world. It can moderate and try to quench down the great animosity certain satans of human beings are instigating in the hearts and minds of people, and make them afraid of any Islamic rising, any Islamic unity, or any Islamic advancement. The whole world now is afraid of Islam. We read several books under the title of Islamophobia, and of course there are devils of humanity that are trying to infill the minds and the hearts of people from fear of Islam. And even people like religious leaders, like presidents of countries, you see, they don't know Islam, yet they attack Islam or fear Islam, and that's why the slogan of Islamophobia has been going around. We as followers of a religion of peace Because Islam, as I repeatedly mentioned, is an Arabic word that stems from salam, which means peace, and taslim, which means submission. It is the most peaceful submission to the will of the Creator. And a peaceful religion cannot be described as a fascist religion, cannot be described as a terrorizing religion.
Yes.
It cannot. And that's why I say we have not done our duty in explaining Islam to others, in representing Islam to others, in showing others the greatness of that religion, because it is the only religion acceptable by our Creator, as stated in the Holy Quran, because it is the only religion that has got its sources intact in exactly the same language of revelation, the Arabic word or Arabic language, preserved by the will of Allah for over 14 centuries.
Yes.
At a time when all the previous revelations have either been completely lost or only remnants of memories of them have been kept in minds of grandparents to grandchildren or from parents to children. And when they were committed to writing, they were committed to writing by the hands of people who are neither prophets or messengers. And being human beings, they are liable to make mistakes. They are liable to change things deliberately. And that's why they have corrupted the 2 or 3 of the previous revelations. And the Holy Quran is the only form of divine guidance that was saved from human corruption.
Alhamdulillah. Professor Zaghloul, back to the sweeper stars or the
Yes.
black holes. As we mentioned before, as we read in the newspaper, knowing how great now after this episode, how great a black hole is and the requirements for it to be formed, is it possible for them to simulate it?
I don't think so. I think the Europeans are trying to experiment with this process because they had this huge tunnel dug under the Alps mountains, and they have been using it for some nuclear reaction
Experiments.
tests.
Yeah.
And I think they have finished with what they were doing. So they try to use this tunnel in a process of simulation of how the universe started in being. They try to prove the Big Bang theory by experimentation. They will fill that tunnel with gases and have some equipments, or giant equipments actually, that will compress that gas within several tens of meters long confined area. And of course they see if they can initiate nuclear reaction in that gas to the extent that it can produce heavier elements that simulate the formation of stars or the formation of a black hole or a neutron star or the like. But I personally don't think that this is going to happen because they cannot imagine the amount of pressure needed to instigate nuclear reaction, and so that you can begin the formation of a star.
But they still insist and they still will go on.
Oh,
with
yeah,
the
they
experiments.
will go on, yes. And we will wait and see.
We'll wait and see.
With the black holes, getting back to the sweeping stars, you said that it is possible that one of these black holes can swallow up to a galaxy, an
Indeed.
entire galaxy,
Indeed.
or
Indeed.
galaxies.
Indeed.
But yet, this black hole is present in our galaxies, and you said under 10, meaning more than one, and yet it's
But
not
the
swallowing
10
us up.
are not in our own galaxy.
Okay,
We may have 1 or 2 in our own galaxy.
okay.
The other 10 are in nearby galaxies.
So why is it not swallowing us up? Is there a scientific
Because
explanation?
you see, if a galaxy goes into the horizon of a black hole, it would be swallowed. But so long the stars are at distances of it, it cannot swallow it.
There's a certain scope for it to work.
Yeah, and this could lead back to our previous episode when we were speaking about the position of stars
Indeed.
and the specific
indeed.
position, because if it's even
Indeed.
closer to us, we will
It would be swallowed. It would be
Subhanallah.
swallowed, you see.
And Professor Zaghloul, about
Yes.
the orbits of the black hole,
Yes.
how was that found out?
Because they can see how the position where electrons are being collected, it changes from point to point.
Okay, so it's the same number of electrons or the same shape?
No, not the same number of electrons. You cannot count electrons.
Yeah.
The same beam of electrons.
The same beam of electrons.
Beam of electrons, yes.
So it's as if they're following the beam, and
They follow the
by
beam
that way
and
they know the orbit of
they
this
know the
black
orbit,
hole.
definitely.
And also
And this-
orbits the sun.
I beg your pardon?
The orbit is around the sun.
Miles away from the sun is
Miles away from
okay,
the sun.
millions of kilometers away from the sun, because our own galaxy is 100 million light years. 100,000, sorry, 100,000 light years. 100,000 light years, and its thickness is 10,000 light years. So our galaxy is 100,000 light years, and its thickness is 10,000 light years. So if you have a black hole in the center, it's the gravitational center of all the stars in the galaxy, you see. It holds everything together. Yet it cannot swallow everything, because the rest of the stars and the rest of the heavenly bodies do not fall in its horizon.
Yes.
You have to go directly in the horizon.
So we can say that the black hole is, how can I say it? It is below the universe, or it's in the universe, and
It is in the galaxy.
it is in the galaxy.
It is in the galaxy.
Not on the circumference of the galaxy.
I
for
said 100,000 light years in length and 10,000 light years in thickness.
Yes.
It's a lenticular body that has got these dimensions. 100,000 light years in length and 10,000 light years in thickness. So, so long as the black hole is in the center, it can swallow anything that goes in its horizon.
Okay.
But all the heavenly bodies that are far away from the horizon of the black hole is safe
Okay.
Far away by the
Understand.
mercy of Allah.
by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Subhanahu
And
wa
that's
ta'ala.
why, as Fuad is saying, this also reflects on the fact which we have just discussed in another episode, that Allah is giving the oath by the position of stars.
Oh, yes.
Because if the positions were slightly closer to a black hole, we are finished.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Professor Zaghloul.
Thank you.
We have sadly come to the end of this episode. Thank you, our guests. Thank you, dear viewers. Until next episode, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.